Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing some 10 millimeter testing. What do we have up for today? Some Winchester USA Ready 10 millimeter. This is 170 grain 10 millimeter defensive ammo. It's that silver colored stuff with the red plastic insert in it. And according to the box, it says we're getting a muzzle velocity of 1250. We're going to check that out. But we're not going to just test this ammo today, because if you're familiar with 10 millimeter and the gun tube reverse gun forums, the established narrative is that companies load their 10 millimeter weak, almost to 40 Smith & Wesson specs. And I believe that too. And I believe it's for a number of reasons, but I believe mostly it's because of liability, because 10 millimeter is a powerful cartridge. If you look at brands like Buffalo Bore and some of the other boutique brands, you can really ramp that bad boy up. It's a powerful auto pistol cartridge. So what I also have today is some 40 Smith & Wesson Winchester USA Ready 170 grain. So they're the same projectile, all right, but we're gonna see how close they are. I suspect the 10 millimeter will be a little bit more powerful, but I'm not sure. So the velocity on this one, they're saying, is 1170. Don't know out of what barrel length that is. So there's only, basically, they're only claiming 80 feet per second faster with the 10 millimeter, which is, it's faster, but it's not that much faster. You should be, a 170, you should be able to ramp this sucker up over 1350. You should be able to ramp this bad boy up a lot. But we're gonna see what the actual numbers are out of a couple of guns. Now, I don't have a 40 1911 anymore. I used to back in the day. I don't anymore. So the closest thing I have is this Taurus PT100. Okay, it does have, I think it's a 5-inch barrel. The barrels are identical on these guns that I'm going to use. So we have the Taurus PT100 in 40, and we have the, take that mag out, Springfield Armory Ronin in 10 mil. And if you can see the barrel links from the chamber to the end of the barrel, so they're both 5-inch barrels. So we should get a pretty good velocity. I would like to do another 1911, ideally, if I had like a Ronin in 40 full size, but I don't. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna test the 10 first. We're gonna shoot the 10 and then get the velocity, and then we'll shoot the 40 and see if everything a lot of us say is correct. Are companies downloading 10 to the point that you might as well just use a 40 from factory ammo? Now, and I know, okay, listen, I know there's a bunch of different bullet weights. I know there's a bunch of different, when it comes from 10 mil, I got everything from 135s. You could put 135s, 155s, 165s, 170s, 180s, 200s. So there's a wide range of projectile weights you can use and are being used in 10 millimeter to get a wide, array of different results. And obviously, the lower the weight, the more you can ramp the speed up. So like 135s, you can probably get ridiculous velocity out of it. But I just wanted to test these as kind of a baseline. This is not an all-encompassing test, because somebody's going to go, well, Buffalo Bore does this, more. Yeah, of course it does. And this is Winchester, and I'm not talking about the performance of this. If there's other videos out there showing that this stuff didn't perform very well, I don't know. I'm going to shoot it into some milk jugs to see how it performs. We're going to get some chrono readings. I still have the crappy Caldwell Ballistic Precision chronograph sitting right here. You can see the edge of it. It's already got an air. Haven't even fired a shot. So we're going to test that, but let me go not reload, because I haven't loaded it yet, but let me go load these magazines with this ammunition, and we'll be right back. We'll start the chrono test, and then we'll do a milk jug test to see how well they expand. So I'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. So as you can see, we have the 10 millimeter USA Ready Winchester. It's 170 grain. Remember, exact same projectile for both rounds. I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to get 3 good readings. If you're familiar with this channel and these Caldwells, they struggle to do that sometimes. So, but I'm gonna step back as far as I can, see if I can get 3 good readings. We have 5 rounds loaded in here, 10 millimeter. Then we'll do the 40 and see what we get, see how they compare to the boxes and all that other stuff. Again, I don't know what test barrels they use. Companies do, you know, some weird stuff. But we're just gonna see what happens and how it goes. Okay, 1319. Okay, 1319. 1297 and 1290. Okay, so that's impressive, and I'm not saying impressive overall, because a 170 you should be able to ramp up a little bit faster. I should consistently have over 13. I've done it with my reloads. I got 180s that I've gotten over 1350 consistently. So there's room to play there, but it did beat the box. It beat the box out of the Ronin. Wow, okay, 1319, they claimed, what did I say before? Let me look this up. Box says 1250. So everyone outperformed by 40 feet per second or more. That's impressive to me. The impressive part being that it outperformed what they put on the box. Let me err on this thing again. God dog. All right, we got the 40 though. Let's see if we can get this darn, that's pretty good. So now the box on the 40 is saying, let's see. The box on the 40 is saying 1170. Let's see if we can beat that. Let's see if we can get into the 12s and what the difference is with the 40. Here we go. 1144, 1163, 1126. Okay, so I think only one beat the advertised box, but it didn't. So they said 1170 on the box. I think we had what, like an 1164. So that underperformed just slightly what it was on the box, and it was what? The 10 mil was 100. What was one of them? I don't remember the numbers. We'll have to go back and put the numbers up. But I think one was what, 1319, and the best one here was 1164. So let's do the math though. That's okay. That 40 right there. I'm telling you now on this one. This 40 with the same grain bullet and this 10 mil are not identical. This 10 mil is more powerful than the 40. Now, is it so much more powerful that you would choose it? Is it crazy more powerful? Well, one of them's 100 and what, 100 and that's 35, 100 plus 19, 40, 100 and over 150 feet per second faster with the same bullet. So yes, it is. I personally, anything over 100 feet per second faster with the exact same weight projectile is significantly faster. And that one's over 150 feet per second faster. Now, just this, and there's a lot of different firearms that carry way more 40, 15, 16, 17 rounds of 40. But just this one, if you top it off, you get 12 rounds of 40. This one, I think you get 9, you get 10 rounds. So you get 10 rounds of 40 with the Ronin. So you're down 2 rounds, but you have a round that is, in some cases, at least in one of the shots, significantly more powerful than 40. If I had to choose between these two to carry into the woods as a bear defense, now I know people would be like, I'm carrying 200 lead cast. Yes. But if all I had was these two ammos and these two choices, I was going into the woods, I was hiking, whatever I was doing, and I had to carry one gun, and these two were it, and this ammo was it, I would personally carry the 10 mil with being down 2 rounds. 2 rounds to me is not as significant for the power difference that you get. So I would personally carry the 10 mil. That's just me. But in the case of the USA Ready, and The reason I wanted to test this, I think it's a cool looking bullet. I like that it's all silver, almost look like silver Werewolf bullets with the little red tip in there. I think it's cool. But this was one of the only brands that I found. I know there's more out there, and I'm going to be searching, that have the exact same projectile. Not the same weight, the same freaking projectile. And as you see, the 10 mil is significantly more powerful. So let's go over, let me set up the water jugs, and I'm going to shoot one round of 10 mil into the water jugs, see if we can recover it. Then I'll shoot one round of 40. Then we'll go back inside and we will compare the two close up under camera, because out here it's kind of, well, maybe we'll do a little cursory, comparison out here, but then we'll get a closer up discussion and closer up camera view of the projectiles after this. So we will see you in a few. Okay, so we are back. But I had an idea real quick. Before we get into testing the 10 millimeter in the water jugs, the USA Ready Winchester, I brought out my Delta Elite. So I just want to see, I got 3 rounds. I just want to see if there's a difference in velocity, a significant difference. Should be hanging right around the same. But if there's a significant difference in velocity out of the Delta Elite, and that's because the Ronin has a ramped barrel. The Delta Elite has a standard barrel. So, and I'm going to test something in relation to that in a later video. But I just want to see if there's a difference. And this freaking chronograph is acting up again. See if we can get some velocity before it goes haywire. All right, Delta Elite, 3 rounds of Winchester out of the Delta Elite. 1302, 1298, and 1308. So we had 2 get over 13. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. Failure to eject. Now, it did fully lock back. But it's hung up in the magazine. Look at that. I could probably pull it out. It is hung up in the magazine. Look at that. Freaking cold. Okay. So it did have 2 get over 13, which we only had 1 get over 13. They're probably pretty much the same, because I think it was 1308, 1302, and then a high 1290, and then that one we had like a 1290, 1295, and like a 1319 or something in the Ronin. So I bet if you average those out, they're just about the same. So no difference in velocity. Seems like there might be a little bit of difference in reliability. But let me flip this camera around, and we will shoot the water jugs with the 10 mil first, and we'll see what happens, and then we will shoot it with the 40. So now we will be right back after this. All right, folks. So we have our water jugs. We have 4 1-gallon milk jugs, followed by a I don't know how many gallon little kitty litter jug. So we're going to test to see how well it expands and how deep it penetrates compared to the 40, because as you saw in the velocity, it is more powerful. My chrono's acting up, so I'm not going to get a velocity of this shot. We're just going to assume it's hovering right around that high 12s, low 13s, like all the other rounds were. And we're just going to shoot it and see what it does. Hopefully I can catch it. Looks like it might have curved out of it. Damn it. All right, so it curved left. It went through all 4 or 5 milk jugs. So what I'm going to do is, I don't think we're going to get 40, because I only brought up enough to get the freaking 10 mil. Damn. But that one's slowly leaking because it just clipped the side. So I'm going to set up 4 more 1-gallon milk jugs and another cat litter one, and we'll see if we can actually catch it this time. Okay, so it looks like I can only fit 3 1-gallon jugs on the sawhorse with the 2 kitty litter ones. Let's see if we can catch one this time at least. of the 10 mil, and then the 40 will just whatever. We know it's less powerful, but let me see if I can catch one with the 10 mil. All right, let's try this again. We got one round, 170 grain, 10 mil. We're about 10 yards. Let's just hope it doesn't curve this time. Let's hope it stays right straight. We might have caught that one. I might. Fingers crossed, I might be able to figure something out with the 40. Hang on. All right, hopefully the 40 will stop in the last jug, because we have one in the third jug. Let's just see. I'm going to kind of aim low. All right, folks. So my trick worked. I was able to recover it. I shot the 40 before. As you saw before, the water was able to drain all the way out. And interesting results. Interesting results. We're going to go back to the table and check out these results. But real quick, I want to show you. That's 10 mil. So it went roughly the same. I would say it went a little bit more because the 40, it looked like it might have skipped over that center jug because the way I had to do it. So we might have got a little bit more penetration, but look at that. And now look at the performance of the 40. Again, we're going to take closer looks at these. We're going to weigh them. I was not able to recover the red plastic tip, but that is ideal. That is fantastic performance. Now I know this is not through gel and not through a clothing barrier and all this other kind of stuff. This kind of water jug stuff gives it its best possible performance because I didn't cover it with no cloth or any of that other stuff for it to get clogged up and pass all the way through. But that's fantastic performance. I don't know about that one. It got chunks and I don't know. We'll see what the weight is, but it definitely lost its jacket and there's chunks of lead there. So we're going to go back inside to the table and talk about these and get some weights and maybe get your guys' thoughts on what you think about the Winchester USA ammo and specifically the 10 millimeter. Manufacturers are loading 10 millimeter at 40 Smith & Wesson anyway, so why even get a 10 millimeter? So let's go inside and discuss it. Okay, folks, so Winchester USA Ready ammunition. Let's answer a couple questions about it. First I want to ask you a question. Do you think it did okay? And in the case of this ammo, I think that Winchester did not reload their 10 millimeter to 40 Smith & Wesson specs. I think this 10 millimeter is more powerful. Now, remember, these are the exact same projectile. Look right there. 170 grain, 170 grain. So they're the same weight. They're the exact same projectiles. And in one case, this one got, I think it's like 155 feet per second faster with the exact same, not only weight, but identical projectiles. You could picked up an extra 150 feet per second. Now, being that this is a 170, I think they could have pushed the limits a little bit more and got it much more powerful. And they might have been able to get this one a little bit more powerful, but as they stand from the factory, this one is more powerful. So in the case of this ammo and this ammo alone, I know people will be like, but Buffalo Bore and then the Arms Corps is loading this. Yes, I am just speaking on this Winchester USA Ready brand of ammunition. In the case of these two cartridges, this 10 millimeter is loaded above the 40. So this 40 does not outperform this 10 millimeter. Or so you might think, because now we're getting into bullet construction on how they have to do with it. Now, I didn't get a chance to fire a bunch of different rounds of this ammo, but as you saw in the video, but I did get a chance to shoot it. And let's just take a look at the 40 and the 10 mil. So sometimes bullet construction matters, and sometimes you could push a projectile too far beyond its limits. This is, we'll do the close-up. of it. This is the 40, as I showed you, but now we're doing, again, a close-up of it. That is beautiful expansion. Now I know again, it wasn't under gel, it wasn't FBI spec, it wasn't whatever. It might have been given the best chance it could to expand, and it did. That's what you want to see. That is excellent. This, let me pour it in my hand. Now remember, when I pulled it out, I put this back together. Let me take it apart. I put this back together last night just messing with it. This is how it was found in the milk jug. And in some of the other milk jugs, all these pieces, one of these petals was found with this. I would say half this stuff was found in the same milk jug as this, and the other half was found in previous milk jugs. So it was trailing pieces of ammo, or pieces of jacket and lead and bullet as it goes. So these two were found separated like this. The jacket did separate from the bullet. And I could tell you right now that this piece of lead is a lot smaller than this one. This one probably maintained all of its weight, but we're gonna check that right now with a scale. Let me zoom out with the scale, and we're gonna find out. And just because I don't wanna lose these pieces, we're gonna use this one first. We're gonna use the 10 mil first. Let's find out what the remaining, if I was able to find all the pieces. All right, that's everything I was able to find from the 10 millimeter. Okay, 155.4 grains. So it lost, what's that, 20? No, 15. 14 and a half. It lost 14 and a half grains. Somewhere still out there, and part of that is probably the little plastic tip too, but somewhere still out there, it lost 14 grains of material. Now, I will say this one did penetrate it a little bit deeper. It seemed like it penetrated a little bit deeper, but it was shedding all of its junk. Now let's see the 40. I really wish I had enough milk jugs to test more of this 10 mil. Maybe we'll do another follow-up test. If 150, no. Whoa, I am shocked. Because it doesn't look like, what? It doesn't look like that lost anything. But apparently it did. Huh. So 154.6, what was the other one? 155.4? Huh, that is, I guess it did lose stuff, but I couldn't find anything. This looks like a solid, well, maybe it lost a little bit of lead right there, right there, right there in the tip and stuff. It lost some lead there, so, but it did not break up. It held together. It held together fantastically. Yeah, I'm kind of perplexed by that one. But looking at it, I guess it did lose some material. So let's go back to this. How would I personally rate this performance? I think the construction of this bullet, maybe they're using very soft lead. I think the construction materials of this bullet and this jacket and all this other kind of stuff, it might have been pushed past its limit with the 10 mil. This is not ideal. But it would work. It would work, especially if you placed your hits properly. I think this piece is kind of cool. Look at this piece. Let's see if I can get it. I think this is like an inside, I can't grab it. It's like, oh, there you go. It's like a little inside cap or something along with this piece. Look at this. This is kind of cool. It's like you could see the little serrations in there. I think that probably sat down in the middle of the hollow point. But this is not ideal performance. This is ideal performance. And let me just caveat that I was saying, yes, I only fired, well, I fired two of these. The first one came completely out. So I only fired 140 and 110. If you fire a couple more, it would probably average out, and you might not have this. This might just have been that one, but who knows? Again, it looks like maybe this one was pushed a little bit too fast for its construction. Now, if you had to choose these based off of this performance, which one would you choose? I would tend to go with the 40 and say that maybe this bullet is a little bit, suits the 40 and its speed a little bit better. And maybe they should think about upping the weight, like do a 200 with the 10 mil and slow it down a little bit, because this, it looks like, again, I'll say it again, from this, that the speed is just too fast on this one, and it just tore the bullet apart. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. We will see you next time.